Hi, this is Simon Leung. Welcome back to Groove at Any Time, where the best thing about Groove at Any Time is that we can actually be on at any time, any day, and with anyone. And that's why today we actually have another very special guest who is a sales, marketing, as well as networking expert. And so he's going to talk to us about the highest converting traffic method, which I'm sure many of us right here in Groove would be so much excited to hear about. So if you're joining us here and you're excited to learn about what we have in store for you, type in a yes in the comments. Also, let us know where you're from, which city you're in, and the time where you're joining us so that we can say hi to you appropriately. Now, not only will you learn how to use this exact method that our guests will be sharing with you to promote for affiliate marketing, you can also use this to promote any product or any service that you want as well. Now, my guest has actually spent the better half of, I would say, the last decade and a half probably using just some of these skills to build a highly profitable business in internet marketing, in traditional companies, as well as in the networking, as well as direct sales space. So you can probably tell that this guy has a lot of experience, all of which, by the way, we can use to promote our multi-tier affiliate program that we have right here within the Groove community. Now, you may have met him on the Groovathon about 2 months ago. Now, yes, it's crazy. The Groovathon was already 2 months ago, but here we are. 2 months later, if you recall a fine gentleman who shared with us not just in one session, not in 2 sessions, but actually in 3 sessions, twice on SEO and another one on multi-tier affiliate marketing, then you would know who I'm talking about. And today he is back to share more with us. I want you to help me to give a huge virtual applause, a ginormous Groove Store welcome to my good friend, as well as our fellow Groove Store as well. Please help us to welcome back once again, Mr. Jerry Chen. What is up, Mr. Jerry? Good to see you.
Hey,
Thank you
Simon.
for joining us. I
Hel-
know it's evening for you right now, and I think it's around dinner time, and you're about to go out. But we said, hey, let's do this first anyway, because we have so many people who are so excited to hear from you. How are you doing, man?
Good. And hello, everybody. Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon. I have no idea where you're tuning in from.
Wherever you are in the world, right? Because, yep, we do have a lot of people who are saying hi from different parts of the world. Mr. Robert, who's saying whoop whoop from Riverview, and Coach Ryan is in Jakarta or in Indonesia somewhere, I believe. And we have another Facebook user who is saying woohoo. We have
I love it.
another.
I love it when we see Facebook user. We have no idea who they are.
Yeah, so for Facebook users, supposedly they're supposed to come here to streamer.com/Facebook, and then it's supposed to authorize Facebook to show us your name and your photo, but apparently it doesn't work every time. And so,
Mhm.
unfortunately, for some of our friends who tried it and are still saying Facebook user, we ask that you put your name maybe in parentheses so that we actually know who you are and can address you by name. We got Jeffrey, who is joining us from Houston, Texas, 8 p.m. Deanne is saying hi from Central California. You also as well, Mr. Jerry, you're in California as well, right?
I am.
And so we got definitely lots of people from around the world. Okay, we got Robert. Yes, I don't just want traffic. I want bumper to bumper Lambos. Bring on the money. Well, in terms of results, in terms of achieving your goals, that's where we are all doing over here in the Groove community. We got Groove Pages Training saying woo. Coach Ryan is saying Jerry. And then Coach, actually Groove Pages Training saying, hey, Jerry, great to see you again. Groove Pages Training, by the way, is Nicholas. We can tell by the image, by the photo image of
Good deal.
the caricature, and you're getting a lot of fans. Jerry, just like Jerry Springer. Deanne is saying hello. We're glad to see you. We got Simply Say It Right saying welcome, Jerry. Maria is from Norwalk. Is 9:18 p.m. Hashtag live from Chris. Great to see you. We got a lot of these coming in. Katie Lynn from Orlando, Florida. Anthony join us saying hi. Simon and Jerry, again, not to be confused with Tom and Jerry. I know it can be confusing. Facebook user is saying from New York City. We got Damien also from New York City. YS is saying, hello, guys. This is Steve. Great to see you. Deborah is joining us from Colorado. Good to see you too. And good to see you too, TOO, Deborah, as well. We got Fearless from Tampa, Florida. And we got Martha from UK. So, yes, this is definitely a worldwide community that we have here today. And yes, I understand that within Groove, we were just jam-packed with content today. We just got off a Groove Cart training, and then there was a webinar, and then Donna Fox was on earlier today as well, answering questions. And now this is either our fourth or fifth Groove live event, virtual event, of course, of the day. And I think it's all fine and dandy, and it's definitely worth it for all of you who either woke up early, stayed up late, or came in for your fourth or fifth consecutive Groove events right now to watch us, because we have Mr. Jerry, who is actually quite a difficult guy to get a hold of, at least for me, because he's on the other side of the world. We're like 15, 16 hours apart, simply because you guys just had your daylight savings time, right? We don't have daylight saving time here. And so previously you were 15 hours behind because you're on PST, and now you're 16 hours behind. So sometimes I have to do the math in my head a little bit. And so it's not all convenient for us to, have a chat or a long session such as this. But here we are at 6 plus, close to 6:30 p.m. your time, I believe, right? And 10:30 a.m. my time. And here we are wanting to share with our fellow Groovesters your special strategies on the highest converting traffic method. But before we do that, I understand that 2 months is a very long time. I don't think any of our fellow Groovesters who stuck around for the Groovathon would have forgotten you simply because you were there for so many sessions. But we did probably have hundreds, if not thousands, of brand new Groovesters who joined us over the last couple of months. So for those of them who don't know you, would you mind to tell us a little bit about yourself and your background, and a little bit more about what you're going to be sharing with us here today, Mr. Jerry?
Sure thing. I think what I'm going to do, hello everybody again. What I'm going to do is I'm going to actually share my screen. I just pulled up the slideshow that I used in one of the trainings for Groovathon a couple of months ago, and it has a little bit of my background. I'm going to go ahead and pop that in here so that you guys could see this. Long story short, for the most part, I started out after college as a rocket scientist, working for a little company in the United States called the Boeing Corporation. You guys probably have flown on their planes when travel was still freely available and not as restricted as they are today. Shortly after that, I discovered that a corporate career wasn't really for me. I wasn't cut out for that. It's not a put down on jobs or anything like that. So I decided to become an entrepreneur. And my very first business was multi-tier affiliate marketing. Some people call that direct sales, multi-level marketing, network marketing, whatever you have it. Doesn't really matter. It's about getting paid for creating results, right? That's really what it comes down to. And fast forward, 15 years, as Simon had mentioned, a decade and a half, still very much in the game. What I have added to my business portfolio is that I also started running a digital agency. So you could see on this slideshow here, you'll see my photo there with Simon from a couple of different events that we went to. I was lucky enough for him to invite me to Indonesia to be interviewed on the TV show. We also did a short speech at a school to inspire the next generation of kids who have aspiring dreams about changing the world, perhaps either through a regular career or through business. It was about sharing impact. And long story short, why should you listen to me? besides chit chatting and talking about how how good looking Simon is and all this other stuff, right? Um, I'm here because I want to make a difference, and it has not changed since I first started a business. It's about wanting to make a difference. Yes, I want to profit from my business as well, just like all of you who are listening to me. If you are in business, I hope you want to make money. If you don't want to make money, you shouldn't be in business. You should be pursuing a nonprofit. I have to make sure that you understand that. It does not mean that you do not have a mission or impact driven business. Okay. I need to make sure that is clear. And so, what you should listen to me, especially on the topic that I want to share today, is because I've been there and I've done it. And I want to share the lessons that I learned, not just the successes, but also the failures, so that I can hopefully impart information that is useful to you for the next maybe 30 minutes or so. Take some notes. If this is your third or fourth or fifth Groove Anytime or Groove whatever webinar today, I hope this becomes the most valuable to you. If that is the case, then I feel like I have done my part to change the world one person at a time. And so the short version is that in 15 years, I've done hundreds of millions of dollars in sales from my own organization and also my own personal affiliate business, not counting the clients that we served in our digital agency. Through the digital agency, you could see that from the slide that we have done all kinds of different clients that we served, right? So we have served companies that are just small startups to a big enterprise that had done over $100 million in revenue last year. And just to give you an idea for comparison in terms of the scale of business that you may encounter from different industries or from different people that you speak to. And this is not about bragging, because revenue does not equal to profit. I need to make sure that is clear to you. So, for example, this client that did $100 million in sales last year, guess how much they spent on advertising, right? Today, we're talking about the highest converting traffic method. So this is totally relevant. Out of the $100 million in revenue that they created last year, they were spending close to $250,000 a day on Facebook advertising. Now just let that sink in for a minute, okay? They were spending over $250,000 a day on Facebook advertising. That's in one day. It's not a monthly budget. That's a daily budget. Facebook sent 3 reps to their office every month. In 2 meetings that I sat down with them, I had the opportunity to actually sit in the meeting that they had with the Facebook reps. It was crazy what kind of revenue they were generating from the ad spend. And it was also crazy to see how low the conversion was. And that's why I want to talk about the highest converting traffic method. It might actually shock you. And so, as you could see, I've seen different things. I've also built very large teams in multi-tier affiliate marketing. Our top month or top week was $2 million in revenue in a week. And so this little slide here, I think, gave me a little bit of background and qualification to talk about what I'm going to share with you today, right? So I'm just going to get right to it, okay? And so maybe give a thumb up or a heart or something if you are looking forward to learning the highest converting traffic strategy, right?
Yeah,
Give
so
us the
definitely,
response here.
definitely, as you can see, Mr. Jerry has a lot to share. That is why I asked him to not just like the Groovathon, right? Not just come here once, but also let's make a series out of it, because with a lot of the knowledge that he has, he would definitely be able to share with us so many different methods of promoting. If you check out our session from just a few days ago on Groove at Any Time, I showed you 4+1 ways that you can actually be promoting the Groove affiliate program and where to get your affiliate links and how you can actually best leverage everything that the Groove community has to offer so that you can earn those commissions. And so one of the ones that I personally endorse, obviously sending people to the homepage directly is super cool, because now you're saying, hey, guess what? You can sign up for a free account. Everything is free. Free is good. It's going to get you a lot of signups. But as you can see, we're talking about highest conversions, which means that highest sales. And if you ask me, one of the more effective ways is definitely going to be sending traffic to the live webinars that we're doing every single Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern time. So for all of you who are here right now, you're watching this, go to groovejv.com if you haven't already. Go to the links section inside of your promotion tools that you see right there on the page. Because when you do that, you will see all the different methods that I talked about in my previous Groove at Anytime session, and you'll see where you can get your own affiliate links. And by the way, all the different methods that Jerry will be sharing with you here today, they will work for all of the promotional affiliate links that you will be able to get. However, I always endorse the website, the webinar link, simply because number one, I'm doing those. Number two, we have a lot more control. Number three, it is directly your direct path of first inviting somebody into the community, and then I do the talking for you, I do the presenting for you, I do the live demo, and we walk them from A to Z from the beginning. If they don't know what Groove Funnels is, if they don't know who Mike Philsim is, I do all those introductions right up front all the way until the end, where we share with them the upgrade lifetime platinum opportunity as well. So, it's about 90 minutes, maybe a little bit more of time that we spend with them, plus a live demo. And so for the purpose of what Jerry is going to be sharing with us today, we want to help you to get as many people onto the webinar as possible, onto your page if you're promoting your page with the free sign up or the upgrade page directly, or maybe you want to send them somewhere else and promote other things. The good news with what Jerry will be sharing with you here today is obviously that he is going to share with you something that will work for whatever has helped him to create over $100 million in sales, as he just mentioned, over the past decade and a half. So definitely very, very impressive stuff. Continue to give Mr. Jerry a big yes and a huge round of virtual applause to let him know that you are interested in learning more from him. Mr. Jerry?
All right. So thanks for that, Simon. So if you think about what I had just shared, right? I talk about the client that spent over $250,000 a day on Facebook ads. And some of you might have already heard from other guest
I think we lost you there.
Oh.
So usually when I interject a little bit, we kind of lost you for a few seconds. So if you can maybe rewind, go back like 5-10 seconds, then we can start again.
Yeah, not a problem. Am I back?
Yes, you're back.
Okay, cool. So as I was referring to that client earlier, I had mentioned that they spent upwards of $250,000 a day on Facebook advertising. And I can imagine some of the guest trainers or guest speakers and maybe people in the audience today might have done Facebook ads, or maybe Simon, you have done Facebook ads yourself. I certainly have done it for my own business, and maybe also consulting for other clients that want to do Facebook ads. $250,000 a day is the highest ad spend I have personally seen or participated in. And by looking at their conversion rates, it really just drives me nuts as to why people don't pursue other higher converting traffic strategies. And I think it has to do with vanity, or it has to do with pride. So this might sound weird, but guys, pay attention here, okay? Just really pay attention here. If you look around the internet and you go find those traffic courses or any kind of make money from home courses, you see people kind of flashing their checks or showing you how awesome it is to have a 7-figure business. But what you don't understand is the cost of doing business to generate that kind of revenue, right? And so when I first started in my business, I really didn't understand the difference between revenue and profits and also income. And so when you have let's just say that client, for example, when your ad spend is 70% of your revenue, and that is not even including payroll of the people that you need to hire to run the business, then you can kind of calculate what that actual profitability or profit margin is going to be at the end of the day. How much money are you taking home, right? So what I'm trying to communicate is this: if I have to choose, and you decide for yourself, okay? If I have to choose today whether I want to look after the bottom line of my own personal financial health, I look at the profitability more than I look at the revenue. But now, if I'm going to develop a course or do advertising on how much revenue I can generate, then I have to consider whether I want to tell people, you know what, I only actually put $200,000 in my bank account running a 7-figure business, or do I want to tell people that I make $500,000 running a $100 million business? You see, it makes it sound very different, right? It sounded very, very different. Okay. And this is like straight up, just, Robert was saying, this is actual business talk. This is not fluff. So do a simple math here. Okay. If you have $100 million a year business and you make $1 million, that's 1% profitability. If you take home $500,000 out of $100 million business, that's 0.5%, right? 0.5% profitability. Now, if I have a $1 million a year business and I still take home $500,000, that is a 50% profitability. All right. So now the question becomes, do you want to have a 50% profitability type of business, even though your revenue is only 1% of supposedly a guru that wants to teach you that they have a business that supposedly has 100 times more revenue than you, but they make the same amount of profit as you? All right. So give me a yes if that makes sense. This is about understanding conversion, understanding profitability versus just driving revenue. Driving revenue is not difficult, right? I'll give you another example. Amazon, right? Tesla, okay? And also a bunch of social media companies. They are actually in the red, meaning if you're not familiar with the expression, in the red means they're losing money. They're not actually profitable. But they continue to run, and they have sometimes tens of billions of dollars in revenue and still losing money. How are they able to sustain that? It's because investors are pumping money into the stocks, hoping that these companies will make money one day, or they want to just make money from stocks, right? And so this is really important foundational information to understand what I'm about to share with you, okay? And so strip off all the layers of fluff that you see in different courses that you've seen out there in advertising. Focus on the bottom line here. That's what we're going to talk about today, okay? So again, given yes, if that makes sense to you, I'm going to go ahead and jump to the presentation here. So let's see here, right here. This right here. Okay, so this is what I had shared last time in one of the Groovathon sessions, and I want you to see this right here. We had talked about compensated community, right? And you can replace compensated community as, say, your clients or your community of people who is helping you, or maybe sometimes even the entire community, generate revenue, right? So take Groove Funnels or Groove Digital or Groove anything, right? As an example, it has a 2-tier affiliate program. So that in itself automatically creates a compensated community, right? How did people end up in this community, right? Well, it's through referral, through advertising, through whatever it is, right? And so in order to build this community here, you see there are 3 components to building this community, right? There's you personally, right? There is your offer. In this case, it's group funnels. And then there is your team and your system, right? So who's your team? It could be the person who referred you. In my case, the person who referred me is Simon, right? And do we have a system? And this is the part that most people usually fail at, is the system part, right? Because if you really think about it, okay, if you really think about it, we're all here, we're all alive, we're all breathing. Doesn't matter where we live, we're all here. Now, we all have access to the same exact offer, which is called Groove Digital, right? Groove Funnels. And so the difference, the only difference between you and I is the team that you are a part of. I'm not talking about this extended team of Groove Funnels community. I'm talking about the person who sponsored you, who referred you to Groove Funnels. And I'm also talking about the people who you referred to Groove Funnels. Okay. Again, give yes if this makes sense, right? So that's the only differentiator, this red circle here. So what makes you unique is in this business is your team and the system that you have. But most people don't have proper training on how to build teams, right? But Groove Funnels is a team building type of business, okay? So I'm going to show you how to get the highest converting traffic strategy to build your community. Again, we're using Groove Funnels as an example, but you can plug in any other offer that you would like, okay? So there are only 3 action steps to creating the results. In this case, because it's multi-tier, you want duplication, right? You want to connect with people, you want to share the opportunity or the offer with them, and you want to get them started. And so if you think about that simple strategy, that simple strategy here, only 3 steps. You need to connect with people and you need to share. So what do you share, right? You share, in this example of Groove Funnels, you share the sales video, the video sales letter from Mike Felsame, or maybe a demo video from David Lemon, who has probably done, I don't know, 300 demo videos that I think covers just about everything that you possibly want to learn, right? So if you're a techie, you will love David Lemon's presentation. If you are a marketer, you like marketing and sales, you will probably like Mike Felsame's presentation, so on and so forth. So you send that message to people, and then once they see the message, they want to get started. So the whole idea, okay, the whole idea of conversion comes in step number 3, okay? The sharing part isn't difficult, right? Why? Because how do you share? Well, you can share on your social media posts. You can email people. You can text someone. You can buy Facebook ads. You can buy Google ads. There's a lot of different ways to share. What makes a huge difference, what makes the biggest difference is how you connect and how you get people started. You got to remember that, how you connect and how you get people started. Most of us don't connect properly. That is why the conversion rate is really, really low. Does that make sense? The conversion rate is low. A lot of the times it's not because the offer isn't good. It's because the connection was not proper, right? As an example, my sponsor is Simon. If Simon is a jackass, right? Like he is just a terrible person. Sorry for my language. And he's a terrible person. He is responsible. He puts people down. He speaks negatively of everybody that he meets. He talks behind my back all the time. Do you think that I'm going to get Groove Funnels through Simon? Okay. I may still get Groove Funnels, just not through Simon. Does that make sense? So when a traffic does not convert, don't blame the offer. You got to understand why it doesn't convert. Most of the time, it's because the connection is not proper. Okay, it's either through your personal referral or it's through Facebook ads. Like my client spending 70 plus $1 million a year on Facebook ads, and their conversion rate is low. They're blaming Facebook as the medium that was not good, and I'm saying maybe it's because when you're creating your Facebook ads, you are not targeting the right audience, so that connection is not proper, right? And so if you're running Facebook ads, make sure you define the proper audience that matches your ad and your message. Okay, it's called market to message match, right? You got to understand that it's a very common marketing speak. Market to message match. It has to match. Okay. So besides that, how do you know what is the highest converting traffic strategy? And I know by far what I'm going to share with you is the highest converting strategy, but because most of us are digital marketers of some kind or we're using digital tools, I want to just share something else here to illustrate a point. And let me actually do this other screen share so that, hold on a second. Let me share the screen one more time so that you could see this here, okay? So this is a screenshot of a campaign that we are still running, that we ran, but are still running for a client. So you could see we took a screenshot of the Google Analytics conversion, the conversion panel. And you can see this is from January 1st to November 20th. So this is right around 3 weeks ago, right? What I'm going to show you is what is interesting in what we had done for the client here, okay? So we're in a COVID year, but you can see it's all greens, okay, across the board except for the average order value. The average order value is down. It's because COVID-19, people are spending less money. But you see, we were able to drive up every other metric that's important to the business, right? The revenue is up, the conversion rate is up, the transactions are up, right? Granted, this is e-commerce. E-commerce is hot right now. But I'll tell you, we've seen e-commerce businesses suffer because they don't have a proper strategy. What's the improper strategy? Well, they did not connect properly with their audience, okay? But what I'm going to share with you, I'm going to pick out why it's important to understand how to connect. So let's look at this here, all right? I'm going to take this a little bit slow so you understand the metrics here. You could see the red boxes. The red boxes are the metrics that my agency is responsible for because we are a SEO agency, so we're only responsible for their organic traffic, okay? What's above these red boxes are the overall performance of the business. So you could see compared to the same period last year, the client's revenue went from $1.7 million to over $5 million, just over that, right? $5.17 million. So that was a 200% growth year over year, okay? For organic traffic, year over year, it was 100% growth. Now, how did they grow so fast when organic is growing only 100%? Well, because they're spending 3 times as much money on their Facebook ads and their Google ads, okay? So it's easy to scale. It's very easy to scale when you have money to spend on buying ads. But what I want to pay attention to right now is instead of just looking at this revenue, look at the conversion rate in transactions here, okay? So you could see, especially the conversion rate, you could see this right here. The overall conversion rate for this business is 4%. Whereas for our effort right here for SEO, it's 7.67%. So you see how this conversion rate right here is actually 70% higher than the average across the entire business. So this is an example of a higher converting traffic source, right? But let's peel back the layers of why this is a higher converting traffic source. It's because it's organic traffic, meaning people are proactively searching for us, right? So they're proactively searching for us rather than us proactively advertising to them. You see the difference here? And so to be able to create a scenario where people want to make this their own decision, that is the secret to having a high converting traffic source. Okay, so give us a yes if this makes sense. Okay, I'm speaking very slowly because we have limited amount of time, and I'm trying to convey this one concept today, just one concept only. If you can grasp this concept and apply to all of your business, I hope then it's gonna be worth maybe 45 minutes of your life listening to me today. Okay. So one more time, you look at this conversion rate here. Across the board in this entire e-commerce store, to make $5 million, right? They're converting at 4% across the board, okay, including organic. But if you look at just organic traffic, we're converting at 7.67%. 7.67%. That's almost 70% higher than the average. And this also tells me that if organic traffic is converting at 7.67% and the average is 4%, that means there is another traffic source that's way below 4%, right? I hope that makes sense. So again, looking at the intent of different traffic sources, organic search, which is SEO, right? People searching for stuff. Like you are listening to me right now. You probably found me or found Groove through someone, right? So that's you looking for something somewhere. So that's sort of a proactive approach on the consumer end, right? And so one more time, the concept is to make it the prospect's idea. Okay, that's the secret idea. The secret ingredient is to make it the prospect's idea to make that purchasing decision. People hate to be sold on something, but they love to buy. That's crazy. I mean, it's the same transaction, but we as humans, right? We have pride, we have all these other things going on in our heads, and we wanted to make it our own. We're like, I decided to do that. You didn't convince me. Of course, we all know that, right? Even the most logical person emotionally want to buy something, and they just kind of justify their purchasing decisions by logic. So anyhow, so I just wanted to kind of share this with you because I thought this would be relevant to this specific audience, and that you can kind of relate this back to, digital marketing and all this. Okay, so with that being said, let's come back here, right? If the key ingredient here to success is how you connect and how you get people started, the sharing part is easy. Then how do you do that, right? So let's kind of just look at this real quick. To connect properly, right? You just think about who you can connect with. There's obviously just two kinds of prospects that you connect with: the people that you know or people that you don't know. I don't think there's like a third kind of person. If there is a person that you kind of know, right? That's someone that you know. All right, makes sense. If you kind of know somebody, you know that person. If you absolutely don't know someone, then you don't know the person. Now, when I say you know somebody, it does not mean that you're deeply connected to the person. I just meant it could be somebody that you're acquaintance with, right? So Simon and I, we're friends. We're actual friends. So we're not just people. We're not just people that we know to each other. We're actual friends. We're connected. But you guys listening to us talk right now in the audience, I recognize some of the names. Robert Bowman, I recognize your name. So are you somebody that I know? Yes, you're somebody that I know. Do I know you intimately? Do I feel like I'm connected to you deeply? We have a history or a friendship? No, we don't. But I know you. I know who you are, more on a superficial level, but you're somebody that I know. So you're in this category. Someone that I don't know, I would say Mike Fossum is probably someone that I know that don't know me, right? That doesn't know me, right? So I would probably be somebody in this category in his world. Okay, so I'm just trying to make sure you understand how to put people in different piles and then understand how to connect properly. And so once you figure out where people stand in these two piles, then you can then connect with them deeper, and you share the message with them, right? So now the second step is you share something with them, either it's an online presentation or in person, and then you get them started as either a customer or a business builder. Like in the case of Group Digital or Group Funnels, um, everybody is a customer, but not everybody is a business builder, right? And so, in order for you to connect with people properly, most of the time um, we spend time thinking about how can we get lots of sales, how can we get lots of people to buy our thing. But here is what most people forget, and this is something that I learned early on. If you want to sell 10,000 widgets, right? You're not really selling to 10,000 people. You're selling to one widget to one person at a time. And that process happens 10,000 times. Okay? And again, gives a yes, thumb up, love, or whatever, if this makes sense to you. So that is the concept that you must remember and understand. And so the highest converting traffic strategy, right? Drum roll here, okay? What is the highest converting traffic strategy? It is called word of mouth advertising. It's called word of mouth advertising. You've heard it all before. You know that is a bit of a cliche, but I'm here to tell you, after probably thousands of years, word of mouth advertising is still the highest converting traffic strategy possible. And so, is there a time and place for word of mouth advertising in the digital world? Yes, 1,000%. It's just dependent on how you do it. Think about what we're doing right now. We're on a digital platform called StreamYard, right? We have, I don't know how many hundreds of people listening to us right now. I am talking to all of you. This is a digital platform, right? But I'm connecting with you. I'm doing my very best to connect with the audience, right? Simon did a great job introducing me, also recognizing the audience in the beginning, right? I see names like Crystal Davis and Robert Bowman and Miles Hupp. I see these names, and I see these names repeatedly in different sessions, right? So what we're doing is we are connecting with you properly, even though I don't have anything to sell you, at least not yet, right? And so I'm connecting with you. I'm taking the time to build that relationship, to bridge the gap between you and who knows what I'm going to sell later. I have nothing in mind right now, but who knows, right? Maybe nothing, maybe something, but it doesn't matter. Make that connection piece the number one focus and priority in that connection phase first. Okay. So, how do you do that, right? How do you build that connection? I'm going to give you a few tips. Okay. Now, let me skip to the share part right here. And then the start part is actually fairly easy if you connect properly, right? The getting started portion is what a lot of people, typical sales speak, refer to as the close. Okay. But you got to understand the close is going to be very simple if you pave the road for people to close themselves properly. Okay. I hope that makes sense. And so, how do you pave the way for people to close themselves? Number one, you connect properly. Number two, give them a simple question. Ask them a very simple question. There's a saying that a simple question yields a simple decision. Don't overcomplicate things. In the example of group funnels, it's very easy to overcomplicate it. I'm guilty as charged because it's so awesome. There's so much to offer. It's very easy to try to break down everything for the prospect. But the thing is, if you connect properly, you don't have to. Like when Simon connected with me, it was a very simple sell. It didn't take much convincing. It wasn't because I'm already a digital marketing professional. It helps that I have background knowledge of how these kind of tools are supposed to help. Are supposed to help with digital marketing businesses. However, if it weren't because of the relationship that we had, as I shared earlier, I may still end up buying the product, just not from Simon, right? And so building that relationship is critical. Okay. So I'm going to share a few tips on how to connect properly. There are a few different ways that you can connect with people on a deeper level. Chances are you have a limited number of people that you know on your contact list. And if you're a business opportunity junkie, right? And you know who you are. I don't have to call you out. But if you're a business opportunity junkie, what do you mean by that? Or what do I mean by that? Well, if you have promoted any kind of MLM or network marketing or direct sales or multi-tier affiliate program or any kind of affiliate program to your friends and family, and you keep switching what you're promoting, you are a business opportunity junkie, especially if the program that you're promoting has the opportunity attached to it, to the person that you're promoting it to. So Group Funnels is a business opportunity. Even though it is a two-tier affiliate program, it is a business opportunity. And so if you are one of those guys that have been promoting different programs to all of your friends and family and everybody under the sun that you know, you might have burned a few bridges. Okay, I'm giving you the real talk here. Okay, you don't have to raise your hands, but I'm just giving you the real stuff here. Okay, so if you've been doing this, especially for as long as I have, for 15, 16 years, most of our friends and family have already heard the pitch. So if you want to promote the next best thing to them, your success rate may not be as high as you had hoped, depending on how you are as a person and how you pitch, right? So you will have people that you know in your circle of influence that will buy the product. But most of the time, you need to develop your circle so that you expand that circle of people that you know. All right. If you're buying ads, make sure people get to know you. If you are doing SEO, make sure people get to know you. If you're doing social media marketing, make sure people get to know you. So the secret here is make sure people get to know you. Okay. Everybody can get to know the offer very easily. They just go Google and they'll see 100 different ways of understanding an offer, right? You're like the 105th person to show them the offer. And guess what? If you don't connect properly, then your prospect will become somebody else's referral. Why? Because the other people either did a better job of presenting themselves or they did a better job positioning their offer. Usually their offer comes in the form of some kind of bonus, right? And you guys know what I'm talking about. Join my team, you get a special bonus here and there, right? Join my team and you get my proprietary system. But guess what? Teams can be duplicated, teams can be replaced, but a human cannot be replaced. You understand what I'm saying here? And so you need to make sure people get to know you, and you need to make sure that you become the best version of yourself possible so that you become a likable, trustworthy person. That is the secret to getting that high converting traffic, is you need to be the person that people want to get to know. Not only do they get to know you, but they actually want to get to know you. Okay. So that is the important first step. Number two is if you want to connect with more people that you don't know, right? How do you get to know people that you don't know? Well, you need to connect with them. You need to build rapport. You need to ask genuinely interested questions. You need to genuinely want to get to know people so that they will do the same in return. But make sure you do so having a posture, right? So, what is posture? Posture does not equate to me saying, hey, Mr. Average Person, or hey, Mrs. Average Person, I had done over 7, 8, 9, 10 figures in sales or business, so I'm better than you. That is not posture. You see, posture is this. Posture is having confidence, knowing what you have done, but have the humility to relate to another human being just like you. All right, you put everybody on the same level, but you know that you have superior knowledge about something. Having knowledge and experience does not make you a better person. So you relate to people on a personal level, but your expertise, your knowledge, your credential is going to elevate your status in the area that your prospect is interested in. Okay, you got to remember that. Don't be so proud in what you have done in your field, and assume that your credential in your field means a lot to everybody, right? Like, look at what Michael Jordan did when he went to play baseball. He was terrible. Like, his credential in basketball has no bearing on his performance in baseball. That's what I meant. Okay, so just think about that for a second. Okay, so be friendly, connect, ask genuine questions, build rapport, have posture, but don't be proud or prideful. Okay, and then also understand less is more. You want to keep people curious when you want to present something. So you don't want to sell people; just keep them curious about connecting with you. Keep them curious about you, not just the offer. I mean, the offer in itself is I mean, let me just be really honest with you. The offer is just the offer. Like, Simon can send me a video, David Lemon can send me a video. For crying out loud, somebody can buy Facebook ads and just and just target me, and then I'm gonna see that video. Regardless, I'm gonna see that video, right? 50 different people would promote me, but who do I want to choose to be my sponsor? Somebody I know, like, and trust. Okay, so most of the time, your closing ratio is dependent on how you connect. Hence the saying, first impression is very important, because you only have one opportunity to make an introduction. Okay, so keep that in mind. Second, let's look at how we share an opportunity. I think I guess if I can boil down all of the things I have done in presenting an offer to people, it's this. You want to be very careful to not become the presentation yourself. The presentation has already been done for you. If you think you can do a better job than Mike Volsane, than Simon Leung, than David Lemon, than everybody else that had already recorded certain things, absolutely you could be correct. You can be correct. 9 out of 10 times, you might be better suited in presenting the offer to a friend or a family. But you know what? You can do that, and you'll probably only make one sale. For all of the things that you're trying to do, it's just not duplicatable, because what you're going to say today is going to be different 3 days from today. Why? Because you could be sick, right? You could have a bad day at work. Maybe you have a fight with your husband or boyfriend or girlfriend or wife, or you have a fight with your children, or your dog is sick. Your emotional energy, you get what I'm saying? Everything about you, if you are the presentation and you're the message, you are not duplicatable. Even if you deliver that perfect presentation once, if it's not recorded, it did not happen to the next prospect. Make sense? You want to use something that is duplicatable. I would much rather have something that is 70% complete, but it's the same every time, than something that is 99% complete I can only use once. It has no bearing in the long-term outcome, if that makes sense. So you want to make sure when you present, you use a consistent message that can be broadcasted every single time. That's all I have to say about this part right here. Okay. Last part is how you get people started. Again, you want to connect with people, reconnect with people when it's time to make a decision. You don't want it to be pushy, but here is a secret to making it their idea. Do a great job connecting with people, getting to know them and getting them to know you. And once you know them, you know what's important to them, right? So if the offer has something that is valuable to what they're looking for, whatever that may be. So when you connect with people, there is a very common strategy that we use in teaching people how to build relationships. It's a strategy called form. You want to form people. Okay, maybe raise your hand if you have heard of the concept of forming people. What is form, right? It's FORM. You want to find out about these 4 aspects of a person's life. F stands for family. O stands for occupation. R stands for recreation. M stands for message. So you want to find out about someone's family, maybe not to some intimate detail that they're not willing to share, but enough so that you know how to present something that would be valuable to them taking care of their family, for example, right? And then if you know about somebody's occupation, you can, again, possibly present something that is valuable to them. Case in point, Group Digital has a slew of tools within the Platinum membership. So you have Page Builder. You can build affiliate programs from scratch. There's a payment processing system. You can build an e-commerce store. If I run a local business, it may be of interest to me to build a landing page to generate more leads for my business, right? Maybe I have a restaurant. Maybe I have say a window repair business, right? And so I may be able to build a really, really great landing page for my window repair business with a capture form that I can build with GrooveMail or Groove Pages. And then I send people that subscribe to my form to GrooveMail and then follow with them, whatever else. You guys get the picture. And so if I did not understand the occupation of the person I'm connecting with, then I wouldn't be able to present an offer that is valuable to them. Make sense? So that's the occupation. Recreation, right? What are people passionate about, right? What do they do for fun? Maybe they love basketball, maybe they love skydiving. It all allows you to build a deeper connection with that person, right? And perhaps they can turn their hobby into a business, right? Especially in this day and age, it's very easy to, for example, send people to an affiliate offer based on something they're really passionate about. If you love cooking, there's plenty of offers, affiliate offers on cookware, or even just Amazon. If you want a really kind of a catch-all affiliate program to allow people to sell cookware or kitchenware or whatever have you, right? And then lastly is the message. What are people concerned about? What kind of nonprofits do they support? What kind of charities do they support? What kind of issues do they care about? And you kind of tie all of that into this potential offer. Essentially, you want to tie this offer called Group Digital in our example to an outcome, to an application using this specific offer that can then accomplish a desirable result the prospect is looking for. That's how you get people to close themselves, right? So I'll give you an example here, okay? If I connect with, let's just say I connect with, I just use Robert for now because I keep using his name, right? I feel like I'm getting to know Robert now. So next time maybe we'll become Facebook friends or something. So let's just say Robert. Robert, if you don't mind sharing, do you have a business? Okay, type in the chat so I know, and then we can actually go through a live scenario, right? And let's just say Robert is someone that I'm connecting with, and I'm gonna assume that Robert is not already using Groove Digital or Groove Funnels, okay? And if I don't hear from Robert for the next 15 seconds, I'm just gonna make up a occupation that I assume Robert is pursuing right now, okay? And now I'm gonna kind of maybe go through what I would maybe say to that person, right? So, okay, so Robert says, yes, I have no idea what that means. Yes, you're in business, or that's your business. So let's just say Robert is, I'm just going to use window repair as Robert's business. Robert has a window repair shop in his local area. Okay, he's an online agency. Okay, so Robert is an online agency owner, right? So what do online agency owners do? Well, they sell online marketing services to clients. And Robert, you can kind of play along if you want to maybe tell us exactly what services you offer, right? So I connect with Robert. We talk on Facebook, and I say, hey man, I'm also a agency owner. You know how it is trying to sell web development and web design services to clients. It's a pain to manage developers and graphic artists because they, sometimes they just want to design beautiful websites that just don't convert, as an example, right? And so if you want to sell web design, right, then I might talk to Robert about, hey, what kind of page builders do you use in your business? Or what kind of CMS do you use in your business, right? And these are all terms that people in the digital agency world would understand, okay? So once I start asking these curious but genuine questions, then I start sharing with Robert this idea of potentially using Groove Digital or Groove Funnels instead of WordPress or Drupal or Magento as potential CMS for different clients. And then guess what Robert is going to do? Robert is going to go check out the presentation done by Mr. Mike Fosame, not me. I just sent him the video. He look at it, he'll investigate it. And then if Robert likes connecting with me, he will be more likely to want to sign up through me because he knows that I offer some kind of value, not just friendship. I offer some kind of value in this relationship building process. Okay, you guys see how that goes? And so when I ask, right, number 3, when I ask Robert if he's ready to get started, I'm not going to say, are you ready to sign up, right? Are you ready to whip out your credit card and pay, right? Pay your hard-earned cash to Groove Digital and part ways with your money. No, you don't do that, right? What you do is you would ask certain things like, hey, Robert, what do you like best about what you saw in Mike's presentation? Or what did you like least? It's up to you, right? Some people swear by only asking positive questions, okay, instead of answering objections. But I'm here to tell you that you must answer objections, all right? Answer objections to the best of your ability, because if you don't, there's going to be buyer's remorse anyway. You want to reduce that, okay? But what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask Robert, hey, what do you like best about what you saw? He's going to tell me all the things that he liked, right? And to kind of nudge him to eventually make a decision, I might actually break down how I, not him, how I use or how I plan to use Groove Funnels in my digital agency, right? So I would say, typically it would cost me $500 to get a developer to build a 10-page website that was designed by the designer, right? Now I only have to pay $250 instead of $500 per 10-page website because the development cycle has been reduced by 50%. And he can do the math himself. I don't have to tell him. I'm just giving him example of how I do it. So you want to jam pack the value and the benefit of your offer into the close by illustrating an example that makes sense to the prospect instead of telling them to sign up now. Okay, I hope that makes sense. And so if we can review real quick, Okay, if we could review real quick. You connect properly by building rapport. It doesn't matter if you're buying ads or you're doing SEO or social media. Make sure people get to know you, because the highest converting traffic source is called word of mouth advertising. And word of mouth advertising only works if there is enough trust. If there is not enough trust, it's called spam. Okay, you gotta understand that. If it's unwelcome, it's unsolicited, it's called spam. And you can't get spam from people that you know. Trust me, I've been spammed. I've spammed people previously too. Okay, so, so you want to connect properly. Once you connect properly, you want to share the opportunity or the offer. And the key here is you don't want to become the offer. You don't want to become the message, even though what I'm trying to tell you right now is that you're actually part of the offer. You're part of the package, but you don't want to be the presentation. The presentation should be in recorded format of some kind so that it's consistent, duplicatable every single time. All right. And then lastly, you want to get someone started by going for the close. And the close isn't to tell them to buy. The close is to refer back to the previous ways of you connecting with people and informing people and understanding their needs, their interests, their frustrations, their failures, and also their aspirations. So refer back to those. For example, if you want to go after Robert, who is a digital agency owner, you show them how GrooveFunnels can help him save time, help him save money, but more importantly, he will be more profitable because he's going to charge his client the same amount of money, but he reduces his development cost by 50%, right? If you connect with somebody who wants to create a secondary income stream or replace their job income, they might want to pursue promoting GrooveFunnels as a full-time business. You can make six figures promoting GrooveFunnels if you put your mind to it. So you're treating the business opportunity as a income source, as a primary career. If you encounter somebody like that, then you want to talk about what? You want to talk about the compensation plan and how that can be really, really beneficial for people that want to focus on that part of the business. Maybe they don't know anything about building pages. Trust me, I've seen people who don't understand the offer make a lot of money from the offer because they are genuinely interested in the people who are buying the offer. They are genuinely interested in the people. They are genuinely interested in that relationship. They know nothing about the offer except that it makes them money. Okay. Now, I'm not encouraging you to do that. I'm letting you know that it is possible because I've also seen people who are really great at building communities and connecting with people, promoting the wrong kind of business. Okay. So do your due diligence. But the key here is to understand how to build relationships, right? And then you present what's of interest to them, and that will allow them to close themselves. All right. So I think my time is up, and you guys had already heard enough from me.
It is never enough. I think one of the awesome things about this particular presentation and with everything that we have with Jerry is, you know, you can tell that Jerry is the kind of guy who just likes to over deliver. And I know for a fact that just in the networking space and with the very similar kind of training that you're getting here today, I have seen and I've known big networking companies who will not only pay this guy thousands of dollars, but also fly him halfway around the world or anywhere else that they might be to be there in person and train like thousands of people live and in person. So a lot of the training that you see over here, a lot of the content that Jerry has shared with us is definitely gold. And the reason why I say that he definitely over delivers is because today, actually, we only planned for a really quick session where he just shares with you the traffic method. But as he continues to go, right, the traffic method was only like the first step. And then he even gets to talking about what the method is, well, it's not just word of mouth advertising. You also need to know what to say. You also need to know how to say it. And then he also goes into what are the best ways to build rapport and to continue to build relationships and all these things. And he's saying you're not the product. Like this is the kind of training that people literally invest thousands and thousands to learn. So with everything that Jerry is sharing with us here today in the limited time that we have, obviously it is just the beginning, and there is so much more that Jerry can share. I would probably say in additional hours and hours and hours of sessions, which is why we don't necessarily have all the time today, because I know, Mr. Jerry, you are in a rush to go out pretty soon. It's getting evening time and you have dinner plans. And then for us, we know that we also want to continue to share with you and not rush too much of the training, but literally give you bite-sized content in ways that you can absorb and also be able to implement as well. And so before we actually let you go, maybe if we can take a few quick questions that can be answered rather quickly, then perhaps this would be a good way to end the session, because I believe that for Mr. Jerry, we would definitely want to make sure that we allocate enough time for you to come back in future Groove at Anytime trainings, because I think that most people just simply cannot get enough of you. All right. So Miles, he is asking, do you find people want to know about you too, or they're mostly fine talking about themselves when you apply form? Is it usually a back and forth thing? I lack people skills majorly, extremely low relational score here. What do you think?
Okay. So I'll give you a short answer. Pick up a book by Dale Carnegie called How to Win Friends and Influence People. Again, it's called How to Win Friends and Influence People. That is a great book to help understand how to build strength and skills in this area. And then to answer your question directly, do you find people want to know more about you or mostly talking about themselves? For the most part, people like talking about themselves. So in How to Influence and Influence People, Dale Carnegie actually talked about how there's a situation where he was in a meeting with, I think, Andrew Carnegie, the very successful business owner back in the 80s or something, or I mean the 30s, not the 80s. He was in a meeting with him, and Dale Carnegie just stood there and listened to that person the entire time. And at the end of the supposed conversation, that person said to Dale Carnegie, "You are the finest conversationalist I have ever met," when he didn't say a word, because the other person essentially took up the entire conversation talking about himself. And so I find people mostly want to talk about themselves.
Jerry, the other person, what? Because you froze right there.
Oh,
because the other person.
Yeah, the other person basically talked about himself the entire time. And so Miles, so the direct answer is most people want to talk about themselves. They will want to know about you most of the time after they have talked to you about themselves, right? So it will be back and forth after a little while. For the most part, people just like talking about themselves. So the key here is to ask genuinely curious questions so that people have the opportunity to talk about themselves.
Yeah, and I would agree with that as well. And for it also depends on the reason why they came here. If they came, let's say, to a presentation and they want to learn more about the product, they probably couldn't even care less about you, right? And so a lot of times when we do the Groove Funnels webinar, I barely even say anything about who I am. I just kind of have my name as the presenter on the actual page so that people don't think that it's Mike, so that people don't think that it's somebody else. And then they see me and then they get disappointed. So as far as that goes, they only see my name and maybe my photo that this is going to be the presenter. And if you actually join us on the actual webinar itself, you would realize that when the webinar begins, all I do is I just play a video. And it's a video that features people like Mike Wilson, like Donna Fox, as well as some other gurus in the internet and wealth creation space. And they're basically telling my story for me. Now, it's a little bit entertaining and interesting simply because these are all major veterans and public people already know. And so when they tell the story about me, by the time I come on, I actually don't even say anything about myself anymore, because I even stated, right? I said, you probably don't even want to hear about me. You probably don't even care about me. You don't even know who I am. It's okay, because it's not about me. And I'm not going to talk about myself unless you ask later on, but I'm not going to talk about myself because it's not about me. It's about you. And it's about what you came here today to learn all about. And we jump right into the presentation, literally about 15 to 30 seconds right after I jump on and people see me live for the very first time. So that's the way that I do it. And even when Jerry came to every other places that you see me speak on stage, you would also realize that I also don't say anything about myself, because I have an MC who actually introduced who I am, gave the slides. And of course, if you're going to be doing a presentation, somebody's going to be spending an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours with you, then yeah, maybe they want to know a little bit about who they're going to be hearing from. And that's why in the beginning, we asked Jerry, can you tell us a little bit about yourself for those of us who don't know you, right? Because it's important for us to build that relationship, the know, like, and trust factor. So the same thing though, I don't like to talk about myself. I feel weird going through slides and saying, yeah, so I was on TV this day and I was on the radio that day, and this is all the other places that you can see me. Obviously, when we're online and we're on webinars and we're on live streams, it's hard to, get an MC or somebody else all the time to be able to introduce you. And so, in the live settings, Jerry has seen it, the MC does the introduction. And by the time I go up there, I already start with the motivation. Why are you here? Do you want to learn more about internet marketing? Do you want to learn about how to make money online, about video marketing, or whatever else, whatever topic that it is that they came in for? And then we just get right into it, because people, yes, they want to know you. They want to know who they're listening to. So in the entire process, you can still build that relationship with them without making all about you, right? Without saying me. Yeah, this is what I did, and that's where I came from, and that's why you should listen to me. That's why I'm so successful and made all this money, blah, 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 whatever, who cares, right? So in the end, yes, people do want to get to know you, but maybe not right away before they even know you in the first place. It might sound kind of counterintuitive, right? If they don't know you, then of course they want to hear about you, but they don't want to hear about you unless they actually know a little bit of who you are and why they should actually be listening to you. So we don't throw them, a 45-minute introduction of your entire life story right off the bat, because in the beginning they're not going to care. But the more that they do get to know you, they listen to you, you crack a couple of jokes, they laugh, you build that relationship, then they'll want to get to know you better. And so it's weird how things works, but that's just the way that it is. And it's true both in life personally as well as in business. So hope that helps to elaborate a little bit on what Jerry mentioned. Matthias is saying different people act differently. Sometimes if you build rapport, it's back and forth. Otherwise, it's not. Cold calling is good to develop people skills, which is interesting because most people are deathly afraid of talking to people and selling, and whether it's public speaking or making cold calls or whatever else. Yeah, this is yet another example of something that if you don't know how to do it and you're scared in the first place, you don't have the rapport building skills, then of course it means that you need to learn it. And if you don't have it, it means that you don't have the skills of doing cold calling, as you mentioned. But again, the more cold calling that you do, the better you become good at it, right? And so a lot of times it just does take you just getting right into, just jump right into the swamp, so to speak, and just get there. Okay, so with all of that, thank you for all of you who are leaving us additional comments. Thank you, Jerry. People want to know if you have different courses. Jerry does have a lot of courses, but right here in this group is where you will be able to learn more about Jerry, or more from Jerry, simply because he is going to be coming back if you're okay with that, Mr. Jerry. And of course, if you want to learn more from Jerry, put down in the comments, come back, Jerry, hashtag Jerry, thank you, Jerry, because all these things are going to convince Mr. Jerry to come back time and time again to share with us even more additional value. Okay, so with that, I want to thank you, Mr. Jerry, for your time here today. I know that we've been talking about this for a long time, that you need to run and you need to keep going, you need to get going and things like that, but we just kind of just don't want to let you go. But I think it is time, because it's going to get late, and I think the malls and wherever else that you want to go are going to shut down very soon. But as you can see, we do have your fans who want to see you again. They want to hear more from you and learn more from you. So offline, actually online, but off this live, off the live, we will check out when is the next best time for you to come back. And of course, welcome you back to our session here today. So any parting words to let us know what we should think about before the next time that we meet, Mr. Jerry?
Sure. So for those of you that want to connect with me, you can just go find me on Facebook. That's probably the easiest way. And I don't have any more additional information, except that I appreciate you guys spending the last hour with us. As I had mentioned, if there's just one person who take one thing away from our together and make something positive out of that in his or her life, I think our mission has accomplished. And until next time, I will see you guys soon.
Awesome. So with that, thank you very much, Mr. Jerry. Thank you very much to every single one of you who have been joining us over the past close to hour and a half, which was originally scheduled for 30 minutes, but now we are 1 hour in overshot and over delivery. But that's just the kind of guy that Mr. Jerry is. So for all of you who are watching us either live or on the replay, we wish you a great rest of the day, a great time doing whatever it is that you will be doing, because at the end of the night, we just simply want to make sure that we help you as much as possible, that you can get as much value as you possibly can. And of course, we look forward to sharing more with you on the next one. So until then, peace out, as they say, and we shall catch you on the next one. Cheers. You gotta get into the groove.